It was a bit challenging to cross this part this time because it is extremely cold. So for the last few nights it was around -5 or so. Not sure. I'm talking about Celsius. Not sure how much was it right in this area, but I think it was colder than that or something like that. There is still ice, and now my feet, they feel like this ice that I'm touching. I think they will get warm soon. But you know what is good? Usually this part is very sticky, and then you end up with 2 tons of earth on your hiking shoes. Well, this time everything is frozen, so nothing sticks that much, which is good. Also, it is not that slippery, well, so far, so it's perfect. And sun is shining, which is always perfect. Couldn't be better. Now let's walk and fetch that trail camera that I left last time. Last time I was here, I was touching this ridiculously tall grass. Sunshine is going right at it. This one. Much taller than me. So must be around 2 meters high in some places. And last time I was touching it, I noticed only later when I got to sit down, I had blisters on the sides of my hands. So this time I learned my lesson and I really did bring those gloves with me. I usually have it in my car. So I'm going to try to identify this grass later and to see. Look at this. Goes way over my head and we are standing on the same level. I will take a photo and look it up, or maybe I will bring it with me. What do you think? No, I will take a photo and then try to figure what it is. I'm sure it was raining at least a few times since this got here. I'm a bit winded, sorry, because this entire area really is very uphill. I need my nails for this. Not that I have much, but okay, let's try to see. Setup. So this time there is 2 hours 41 minutes left for recording. The card is not full, which is good. Even if there is nothing recorded, I am glad, because this means that this time I did position everything properly, and that's always a good thing. So one of the things I wanted to do, and I will do of course, is collect these mustard seeds. This is the common mustard or something like that. I will put the I already forgot the name, but I have been passing near this field for quite some time, and I was waiting for opportunity for seeds to form properly, because last time I wanted to collect them, they weren't quite there yet. It will be a difficult task, to be honest, because it's, as you can see, it's quite tiny. When you pick them up, so that they are supposed to be inside this cocoon. It's not a cocoon, but you know, the plant equivalent of one. So as soon as you pick this just breaks down and all the seeds fall out. So I need to be careful about the way how am I picking all of these. They're quite tiny, you know. I used to have kohlrabi plant in my garden, and there it was much easier. You could basically just, everything was much bigger. You could just pick up everything and the seeds would still be in there, so you would actually have to break these shells to get them. But yeah, not here. This is wild mustard, this is something else. I'm sure cultivated ones have seeds that are more collectible, let's say, more friendly for our collection. One of the reasons maybe we made them that way, we cultivated them for that reason. But okay, what matters now is to collect this and put it in a little bag. I'm not fond of putting things in plastic bags, but these things are tiny and I don't have really another better container, let's say, to put it in. Any kind of bag or anything. So I'll do it like this. Good thing is I only need the small amount. And later on I will try to make a mustard sauce with this. It will be interesting to see what a failure or not it is. I expect it won't have much flavor because it is from the wild mustard, but we will see. Plenty of time ahead to experiment with stuff. It's not even spring. I just love this sound, and well, the patterns are also quite interesting if you think about it. So the the path took the worst from both worlds. It is now both sticky, muddy and icy and cold. So yeah, beautiful. Welcome to my weekend. One day I'm corporate worker at my little desk, at my little screens. Huh. I don't know. You know what I'm going to say? I don't know which bird that was. It was two of them. They look pretty. Look at this thing. You know, I didn't see snow for quite some time. And this is not snow. But still it kinda reminds me of the snow. Hope I didn't scare them too much. I will start recording when I end up somewhere on a clearing or something, because now I need to walk to watch my step, and I need to do my best, try my best not to fall or something. My camera keeps on randomly just turning off for some reason. I have put it in my jacket so my body warms it up a bit. We'll see how it goes. I was passing by and wanted to say, look at the size of that thing, of that footprint. What kind of gigantic human it must have been. And then I realized, you know, not that much different from my own. Yeah, so going further up with the thought of that I actually have big feet. Well, here is one thing that doesn't belong to a human. It sort of has two fingers, let's say, only. And it's not that small. I've seen the trails like this all the way throughout this path. I also seen dog paws, but dogs do not concern me that much. Here another one. So, you know, could be deer maybe, or could be wild boars. I don't know. Somebody more knowledgeable would probably know the difference. I don't yet. This one is smaller. I think this could be deer. So they are probably walking around, which is not surprising. I mean, we are in the forest. Where would they walk if not in the forest? Ah, beautiful day. I really love to see the sunshine, even though everything is muddy, cold, and grey in the shadows. Not too many signs of life, let's say. Still, it's comforting to see the sun. You know, I have the issue actually. I think I lost my spare battery. I did keep it in the pocket next to me to keep it warm, and now I can't find it. So I will need to trail back my own steps and to try to find it if indeed it did fall down. It also wouldn't be surprising that I just didn't bring it with me and I just imagined I did. So you'll see. Yeah, something from those two things will be the case. Those are definitely people I hear. But never mind. Those people must have a really good time. They are laughing a lot. You know, if I howl like wolves do, maybe I will scare them off. I wouldn't want to, you know. I don't know how much ethical it is. Maybe it is just in the category of a prank. Childish prank. But I wouldn't want to ruin anybody's day like that. So I gathered the courage to pass the people, and I found them discussing what actually makes a good pizza. So we are very close to Italy. You have to understand that it's a very important topic here. I didn't hang around to discuss it, but interesting one. Yeah. Let's go. Finally, at the top of the hill fort. Well, castle is more appropriate. It's from medieval times, but you know, functionally, it's a hill fort. So, those people I met asked me what am I picking. So I was telling them that I'm just too optimistic. I actually wanted to make a video. By the way, this is one of my favorite baskets ever. My favorite gifts I ever received from one of my favorite people. I'm so happy with it. And inside now there is only mustard seed in the bag. It looks a bit suspicious, you know, when you see dried things in the bag like this. If you don't know how to recognize stuff, but yeah. I wanted to make a video about early spring. It's not even spring actually. I wanted to make a video about winter foraging. January, mid-January. I think that is one of the worst times, if not the worst time, to try to find something. And I find it good because it's challenging, you know, in its own way. So let's see, what do we have here? I'll just scope around tiny bit. If my battery fails me, what I'm going to do is just fall off this wall and die. Just kidding. I'm going to take my phone and record with it. Here it is. Wild garlic. It didn't really take me too long to find the first edible. So I don't know, somewhere they call it crow garlic or wild onions or something like that. In this form, especially this young, it actually looks like chives. You could compare it with chives. It has beautiful taste. Very good, this one. Maybe it's because it's that young. There's something to it, you know. Even tastier. Well, all this is garlic. Now, I have trained eye and I know how to notice it. But when you want to be sure something is garlic or onion, when you break down the stems or leaves, smell it, you know, move it through your fingers. When you smell an onion, it's an onion. So sometimes some people laugh when I say this because, yeah, obviously, but you know, some things are not that obvious. There are some things that could smell, look alike, and then kill you. But not with onions. It's not the case, and you're pretty safe. This is one of the best plants for beginner foragers, actually, to find and eat. If I would dig this up, I would find tiny little bulbs, but I'm not going to do that. They are really, really, really small, like small chives. So I'm going to take some actually, and I would put them in my sandwich, but I already have onions there, so I will let them be and grow here. I do have some good news, or bad news, if you don't want to listen to me too much. I found my spare battery. So today I have this to enjoy. Just tiny bit of enjoyment and a homemade sandwich. So yesterday I was making some pork chops, frying them with garlic and butter. They're nice. And I had some leftovers, so I made sandwich with those and some onion and stuff. Nothing too fancy, really. I don't know why am I showing it off, but still. Beautiful. Beautiful onion. Okay, I'm not going to speak with my mouth full. I'm just going to enjoy this day, eat some more, and we'll see. Maybe try to forage something else besides wild garlic. That would also be interesting. I already told many stories about this place. I also repeated those few times. But I wanted to appreciate the people who lived here. There were tough times, you know. More than 99% of entire livestock population was either stolen or killed. Humans didn't really, were not that happy either. I don't know the percentages, but they were quite large. Many people died. And I wanted to appreciate it. I mean, there were wars after the 1618 in this region, but I'm referring now to this spot where I'm sitting, where people were hidden and then later attacked and had their village sacked. So yeah, cheers to whoever lived here. I always want to mention the people. I love how there is this one tree, only one, between the two, how do you call these things? I'm missing the word, but anyway, there is this little, the only green tree in around, I don't know how many hundreds of meters. And I don't know if it's evergreen or what it is, but it's very just like standing there, being like, what up? What you gonna do about it? I'm green and you're all died. Yeah. Maybe that gin and tonic kicked in a bit. I don't know what these are, but I don't think I ever seen something quite like this. Maybe some kind of, I don't know. But beneath, they do have these spikes, needles, which is very unusual. Maybe this one here, it's even more visible. So, yeah. I definitely need to look this up. They are sort of embedded into the moss. So the moss it's like I'm touching a huge sponge here. It's very deep, mossy part here. And they seem to be growing somehow along with it. Here the same thing, see? These things popping up. Weird. Can't wait to find out what it is. Does not seem too friendly, right? Considering the spikes, but who knows? Stinging nettles are not friendly, and they are one of the most delicious and, edible plants you can eat, so who knows? So here is one interesting thing. I don't know what kind of plant is this. This is some kind of fern or something. But when you look down, you see a bunch of eggs. The same thing is with some others. I think maybe this one, yeah, take a look at this. So this entire patch of, I'll say it ferns, apologies if it's not a kind of fern, or I don't know which kind of plant is this, but I will look it up. And the patch up there, everything is filled from the underside with these kinds of eggs. Of course, I'm going to take some photos and report on what it might be. It's very interesting. Looks interesting. Maybe disgusting to some, but for me, interesting. Here's another kind of different example. So this is the underside of the plant. As you can see, it's a bit more gone off. When I turn it back to the front, you see these dots have actually appeared, and they correspond to these things from the underside. The plant started to die off. You can see it started to go brown from the top down, having some leaves already looking a bit bad, folded a bit. These are quite interesting. Let me find something bigger a bit. Take a look. My battery died, of course. Well, it's pretending it's dying off because it's cold. But anyway, when you turn this back, you get this, which is very unusual color. You know, when you see it just laying around, it hits your eye like, what is this? You might think it is some kind of mushroom or something, or some piece of trash, but no, it is this. Grows quite similar to these ivies. I think these are, I don't know. But you know, those kind of plants that crawl on the ground. This is one of those. I probably seen these around, I just didn't pay much attention to it. Also, there is a lot of these guys. Look. A very, very nice hairstyle from the 70s. Stylish. How do you pronounce it? Lichen or lichen? I never know, but anyway, very interesting ones. One of the first organisms that evolved. But okay, now this is a spot for a camera, don't you think? Something must be living in there. Ćao, ćao.
Stvarno neko tu zide crkva, a?
A to je grad bio kao.
A grad?
Da, crkva je pored, jedan.
Aha.
Možete unutra proći, ima jedan stepanje. Aha. Mislim, nema niš posebno kamenje, ali kako vas zanima.
Zanimljivo.
Da.
Super.
Hear me out. Explaining to people it's nothing special to disrupt them, you know, from coming back because I want my peace. A good place for a camera indeed. Maybe I will put it back. You know, when you meet people in secluded places like this, especially old towns, ruined ones, you know, graveyards and stuff, the first thing that comes to your mind is, do I really hear voices? Like, when you hear voices, you wonder, are you in your head? Are they in your head, or they are really belonging to real people? So, you know, there is something to it with those people who chose to live secluded for a very long time. I notice it myself when you're isolated for too long from, you know, communicating, interacting face to face with people. Your brain starts to play tricks on you, really. Let's say your thought patterns become a bit weird, distorted, maybe paranoid if you're stressed. Weird effect. It also has some positive effects. Don't get me wrong, but everything in moderation. I think that's the best approach. Firewood is ready. So talking about foraging, this is asparagus, but it's winter and nothing to be expected from it, really. It would be a miracle. Considering the frosts and everything that you find those asparagus, I don't think it's possible, actually. And there is butcher's broom, or butcher's broom, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, sorry. Not sure, but either way, butchers used to, because it's very tough, used to use it for cleaning the surfaces where they used to cut meat. So because these things are very, very tough, I actually used one to clean my sink when it was clogged. You would have to have metal gloves not to feel it. It's very spiky, very tough, very hard to break apart. So butcher's broom. Shoots of it are edible. A bit more bitter than asparagus, but are edible and they look like asparagus. But let's wait for spring to talk about that. Also, they are endangered or protected here, if not endangered, and you are forbidden to pick those shoots and eat them, so I'm just going to show them once they appear. You know, in a way, I'm like a hoplite. So if my spear breaks, I have a knife. Well, it should have been sword, but you know, not too practical to walk around with sword around your waist. People might look at you weird. Not to mention law enforcement might. So I've been rewinding the moment when I told people I met earlier, the first ones, that I'm going foraging. Their faces were like, what? Like, what on earth are you foraging now? It's January. It's mid-January. It's been frost for a few days. And I was just laughing it off, saying, you know, it's about the thrill and adventure. Not too much about what I'm going to find, so they agreed. But their faces are priceless. I think that's about it. I have my mustard seeds. I have one more sandwich that I'm going to eat at home. And we will see how it goes. If something interesting happens, I will tune in again. But if not, then nothing is left to do or say. But until next time. Everything is full of tits. No, not those kind of tits. I mean the birds. As I'm moving, they are just moving around. They are on these small plants, upright plants ahead. I think there are robins as well. Now they are taking a bath in that little pond beneath this set of trees. They are quite scared, so I don't think I will manage to approach them.